Hey gang, welcome back to another episode of Kiff Says, a place where I break down the legal aspects of your creative business and try to convince you that the law doesn't have to equal scary. Both this week and next week, we've got a little different setup because I want to talk to you about how to secure the foundation of your website. I like to think of your website as your virtual home, and you want to be welcoming to the visitors of your virtual home. When you welcome visitors to your actual home, you let them know what the house rules are, your intentions of inviting them over, and what juicy details you might spill about them the next day. You should do the same exact thing with your website visitors. You should welcome them and be transparent about all three of these things. This week, we're going to focus on establishing your house rules, and next week, we're going to talk about your intentions and the juicy details. So, what are house rules? Just like when you go to a home, you've got rules around your website and how you're going to deal with things. And so, we just need to let our website visitors know what those are. One way that we can establish our house rules are through terms of service. Your terms of service will outline to your website visitors your rules around e-commerce, things like payment policies and return policies, your rules around comments, what kind of comments are accepted or not accepted, any rules around intellectual property, what people can do with your tutorials, with your content, with your visual materials that you create, and your rules about how you're going to change the rules. So, how does this look in real life? Of course, one way it can look is how I've set it up on my own site. Now, you can see my terms of service is about 4 paragraphs long. It's not 20 pages or who knows how many ever pages it would be if I printed out Facebook or Instagrams or the likes terms of service, and it's not full of a bunch of legalese. I try to make it very clear and transparent to my visitors what my rules are because they're much more likely to obey those rules if they understand them. So I lay out my e-commerce rules. The third-party plugin I use, that PayPal is my payment processor, and what you do if you would like a return or a refund on your product. I then outline how comments are dealt with and my rules around intellectual property. It's pretty short and sweet. If you're a maker, this kind of layout might not work as well. An example of how this could work for a maker is my friend Tiffany Ann Studios, and she actually has it more as a frequently asked questions. She lays out her shipping, how shipping is done, how much it costs, her return policies, and her payment policies, all nice and clear so that purchasers can know what her policies are around this. Another example is Citizen Workshops and Kimberly Peterson's site, and she calls it kind of cheeky, the fine print. And that cheekiness is, as you'll be able to see, carried out throughout her whole terms of service. She outlines her e-commerce policy in her first paragraph, her comments, and her intellectual property concerns. Now you can see from here, her terms of service and privacy policy are contained all within those 4 bulleted areas. It's pretty short and sweet. The second way that we can establish our house rules are through disclaimers. Now, everyone's seen this disclaimer as long as you've ever dropped off a car at a valet or parked in a parking garage. This is the standard disclaimer that says they are not liable if anything's stolen out of your car, if your car catches fire, if your car gets stolen, or any other reason your car is damaged while they have it. Disclaimers are used when we need to limit your risk, but we don't know if that risk is applicable in this exact situation. So how could you do a disclaimer? Turning back to Kimberly's site, you can see that her disclaimer is pretty short and sweet. It's just 5 bullet points. And it says things like her opinions are her own, that different results can happen, that it's for educational and informational purposes. And then she ends with her very cute, cheeky one that says her classes do not guarantee success, stardom, or red carpet invitations, which is very appropriate given the fact that she's teaching performing arts classes online. My disclaimer is a little more wordy. I think it probably could be shortened, but being the lawyer, I have a hard time cutting some of these things out of there. And it tells people that it's for educational and informational purposes, that the laws may be different exactly where you live, that it's not a replacement for working one-on-one with a lawyer, and that there are some affiliate links included. So, where do you put these items once you've developed them? I suggest that you put them in the footer of your site, which is where I have them and where Kim has them as well. This makes it very easy for visitors to see, no matter what page they land on, what your rules, your house rules are. I hope this video makes it clear how simple these items can be, that it doesn't have to be full of legalese, that making it very clear and simple to your visitors what your house rules are makes it much more likely that they'll follow them. Next time, we'll be turning to establishing your intentions with your visitors and letting them know what juicy details you're going to remember about them. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.